The world we live in is full of fascinating animals, some weird and strange looking, some fierce and ferocious, and so many animals that are simply cute and fun to watch. Thank you for joining us in another fascinating discovery as we take a closer look at one of the world's cutest creatures, the otter. What do you know about the otter? Have you ever had the chance to see one up close? Well, sit back and relax as we learn some facts that are utterly amazing. Otters are full of personality and fun creatures to watch. They are endearing and highly intelligent creatures. It may shock you to know that they have been around for more than 5 million years. Otters are carnivorous mammals in the subfamily Lutrinae. Out of the 13 species of otters, some are semi-aquatic, which means that they spend part of their time in the water. Some are aquatic, meaning they spend all of their time in the water and need it to survive. Or some are marine, which is an aquatic animal that depends on the ocean to survive. These 13 varieties of otters are found all over the world, except for Australia and Antarctica. I wonder what otters have against those places. Otters are known for preying on hard-shelled marine invertebrates, including abalones, sea urchins, clams, mussels, and crabs, usually fracturing the shells with their teeth. A sea otter can consume up to 11 kilograms or 24 pounds of food every day to support its high metabolism. That's about a quarter of its own body weight. Otters typically live 15 to 20 years in captivity, but the wild river otter lifespan is dramatically lower. Most live to be no more than 8 or 9 years old. Alright, that's a decent introduction. Scratching the surface, as they say. But if you're ready to learn all you can about this fascinating creature, you need to buckle up, because here are a dozen discoveries about the otter. Number 1. Diet. Otters are omnivores, as they do eat seaweed and other aquatic plants. Despite this, though, most sea otters have a primarily carnivorous diet, with sea otters known to eat more than 40 different species of marine animals. They are smart, agile, and strong predators. They do eat a lot of amphibians and fish, but they'll also take out sizable beavers, raccoons, plus snapping turtles, snakes, and small gators. Of course, an alligator can also eat an otter, so it goes both ways. Call it survival of the fittest. Number 2. Gender. When it comes to gender, the male otters are called boars, females are sows, and the offspring are pups. Just not the kind of pup you should keep in your house. Number 3. Size. The size of the river otter is between 87 to 153 centimeters, or 34 to 60 inches, and 3 to 14 kilograms, or 7 to 31 pounds. Some are fairly larger. An example is the North American river otter, with a size of about 100 to 153 centimeters. That's 39 to 60 inches. Smaller otters, such as the marine otter, can range from 87 to 115 centimeters, or 34 to 45 inches. Number 4. Defense. Like most predators, this animal has its own defense mechanism. No guns, no armory, no artilleries. How do they protect themselves? Well, there is a particular species of this creature called the sea otter. It is the only species with a shorter and less muscular tail. Others use their tail as a dangerous weapon used to navigate their dynamic movements in and around the water. They use their tails to ward off all forms of enemies to their existence. So if you ever come across an otter in the wild, you now know to watch out for that tail. Number 5. Land or water. As we shared earlier, many otters are semi-aquatic, meaning they spend their time on land and water. The exception is the sea otter, which does spend almost all of its time in the water. Number 6. Habitat. Otters are found almost all over the world. and in many wet habitats, such as freshwater rivers, lakes, oceans, coastlines, and marshes. Most otters live in dens built by other animals, such as beavers, that are dug into the ground and have many channels and dry inner chambers. Number 7. Family. When you talk about associations, otters are very closely related to mink, ferrets, and badgers. Although they are often mistaken for beavers, they are actually not related. In fact, in their family line, they are more closely related to the skunk. And you thought your cousins were smelly. Number 8. Stench. Speaking of smelly, due to their lengthy heights right from birth, otters produce a strong, disagreeable scent from their anal glands, and they have especially smelly poop, perhaps from a diet of fish, crab, and other sea creatures. This is a very important fact to keep in mind if you ever thought it would be fun to have an otter as a house pet. Number 9. Coat. Otters have the thickest fur of any mammal, and they are obsessed with keeping their fur clean. Sea otters are members of the weasel family. Like other members of this family, they have very thick fur. In fact, at 850,000 to 1 million hairs per square inch, they have the thickest fur of any mammal. Their fur actually consists of 2 layers, an undercoat and longer guard hairs. Number 10. Tail. The tails of river otters and clawless otters are long and about 1/3 of total body length. They are thick at the base, muscular, flexible, and taper to a point. The giant otter's tail is similar to those of other freshwater otters. Apart from using it to defend itself, the otter's tail also helps it steer through water. Number 11. Diving. The otter could easily pass for a great sea diver. This creature can dive up to 300 feet to go after its prey. In such scavenging conditions, they have the capacity to remain underwater for up to 4 minutes. Number 12. Sounds. Otters make a lot of sounds. River otters like to make lots of noise when they play with each other. They may chirp, purr, squeal, or make gurgling sounds when they're having a good time. Popular otter games include sliding down muddy banks, wrestling, tumbling, and chasing one another on land and in the water. With a non-stop babble of hums, grunts, and shrill squeaks as they argue over fish and defend their territories, the Amazon's giant otters are one of nature's noisiest animals. River otters are social creatures that use a variety of sounds to communicate, whether one is alerting another otter of an approaching predator or simply expressing satisfaction over a good meal. You're likely to hear a river otter before you see it. Okay, that was a dozen discoveries about the otter. But hold on, it's bonus time. Did you know that otters also display some human traits from time to time? It's true. Check this out. Human trait number 1. Otters hold hands. They do this often when sleeping. This is to keep them from floating away from each other. When they are in groups called rafts, the mother and pup will hold hands. It's a resting position for them, not to drift off from each other or the rest of their group. The rafts keep track of each other by keeping an eye open, listening, and keeping in touch through occasional tail and flipper contact. Pretty smart, if you ask me. Human trait number 2. Otters juggle rocks. Studies find that they juggle pebbles when hungry. Whether tossing pebbles between their paws or rolling stones on their chest and even into their mouth, otters are experts at rock juggling. Human trait number 3. Otters make and use tools. Sea otters are unique for being the only marine mammal to use stone tools. They often use rocks to crack open shells while floating on their back, and also sometimes use stationary rocks along the shoreline. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about the otter. We love all animals and hope that you keep coming back for more animal facts. Be sure to like this video, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe.